Right now, across the United States and Europe, I'm watching a silent crisis unfold in women over 60, something so common, so overlooked, that it's quietly stealing your confidence, your youth, and your vitality every single day. Your hair is thinning faster than it should. Your skin looks older than your years. Your muscles feel weaker when they shouldn't be. And here's what terrifies me. This isn't just aging. This is something fixable. And most women over 60 have no idea it's happening to them right now. My understanding of research shows that one simple deficiency is behind all of this. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to fight back. We're covering 7 powerful ways to restore what your body is desperately missing. And I promise you, the last one is something I'm just beginning to talk about openly. But here's the deal. I need you to stay with me until the very end, because each solution builds on the last one, and skipping ahead means missing the complete picture. Before we dive in, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me your age so we can build a community of women over 60 who refuse to let aging win. And let's get started. Let's talk about something that's been hiding in plain sight. That vitamin D deficiency your healthcare provider might have mentioned in passing. It's doing far more damage than anyone realized. And I'm only now connecting all the dots through my observations and clinical experience. When your vitamin D levels drop, and trust me, if you're over 60 and living in the Northern Hemisphere, there's a strong chance they have, your body starts a slow decline that shows up everywhere. Your hair follicles weaken. Your skin loses its fight against time, and your muscles begin that frustrating journey toward frailty that nobody wants to accept. But here's what matters. This isn't inevitable, and you're about to learn exactly how to turn things around. Number 1, and this is where we start rebuilding from the ground up, morning sunlight exposure. But not the way you think. See, most women have heard about getting some sun, but what I'm emphasizing now is the timing and method. Between 7 and 9 in the morning, before the sun gets harsh, your skin can produce vitamin D without the damage that comes later in the day. Just 15 to 20 minutes on your arms and face, no sunscreen during this brief window, and you're giving your hair follicles the signal they need to start thriving again. Your hair isn't just thinning because you're getting older. It's suffocating because the cells that grow hair need vitamin D to function. And when they don't get it, they simply shut down. This morning ritual does something else too. It resets your circadian rhythm, which my observations show directly affects how well your body uses the nutrients you're giving it. But here's something important. This is just the foundation. What comes next addresses why some women do this religiously and still struggle. And you need to hear it. Now let's move to number 2. And this is where things get interesting for your skin. Specifically, fatty fish consumption, particularly wild-caught salmon, mackerel, and sardines, at least 3 times per week. I've been advocating this for years. But here's what isn't always explained clearly enough. The vitamin D in these fish comes packaged with omega-3 fatty acids. And together they create something your aging skin desperately needs. When you eat these fish, you're not just getting vitamin D, you're getting it in a form your body recognizes and uses immediately. Your skin cells have receptors. Think of them as tiny doors that open specifically for vitamin D. When those doors stay closed because you're deficient, your skin can't repair itself from daily damage. It loses moisture, elasticity disappears, and those age spots everyone complains about start multiplying. The beauty of wild-caught fatty fish is that it delivers vitamin D alongside healthy fats that your skin uses to rebuild its protective barrier. This is what gives that healthy glow that seems to vanish after 60. Many of my patients who make this a habit report visible changes within weeks, not months. But stay with me, because what's coming in number 3 is what makes all of this actually work long term. And without it, you're only getting partial results. Number 3 is something I'm finally being direct about, supplementation, but with critical details most people get wrong. Approved forms of vitamin D3 supplements are available, and here's what matters for us seniors specifically. If you're over 60, your skin produces roughly 75% less vitamin D from sunlight than it did when you were younger. This isn't something willpower can fix. Your body chemistry has changed. I now recommend between 2,000 and 4,000 IU daily for women over 60. But here's the catch that trips everyone up. You must take it with fat. Vitamin D is fat soluble, meaning it needs dietary fat to enter your bloodstream. Take it with your fattiest meal of the day, or it largely passes through unused. This is why I often see women taking supplements religiously and still testing low. They're taking it incorrectly. When you get this right, something remarkable happens with your muscles. Vitamin D receptors in muscle tissue finally activate, and that persistent weakness, that feeling of being frail that terrifies so many of us, starts to reverse. Your muscles can actually rebuild when they have what they need, but here's something critical, and it connects to what's coming next. Supplementation alone isn't enough if you're making one common mistake that blocks absorption completely. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. Number 4 addresses something rarely discussed, yet it affects nearly every senior, the magnesium connection. My understanding from research shows that vitamin D cannot be activated in your body without sufficient magnesium. Think of magnesium as the key that turns vitamin D on. Without it, you can have plenty of vitamin D in your system, but it sits there inactive, useless. This is stunning when you realize that my estimations suggest up to half of seniors are magnesium deficient. Your body needs magnesium to convert vitamin D into its active form, the form that actually does the work of strengthening hair, repairing skin, and rebuilding muscle. Foods rich in magnesium include dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts like almonds and cashews, seeds, especially pumpkin seeds, and whole grains. I now recommend a combined approach addressing vitamin D and magnesium together, not separately. When my patients do this, they report something unexpected. Their energy returns. That afternoon, exhaustion that feels like hitting a wall suddenly lessens because your cells can finally produce energy efficiently again. This isn't about feeling young. It's about feeling capable, confident, and strong enough to enjoy life. But what's coming next is perhaps the most overlooked factor. Something so simple that many women kick themselves when they realize how long they've ignored it. Number 5 is hydration, but with a vitamin D twist that changes everything. Water intake affects how your body uses vitamin D in ways that surprise me as well. When you're properly hydrated, your blood flows more efficiently, carrying vitamin D to every cell that needs it, including those hair follicles, skin cells, and muscle fibers we've been talking about. Dehydration, which is common among seniors because the thirst response weakens with age, essentially traps nutrients in your bloodstream where they can't do their job. I suggest seniors need more water than they think, often 8 to 10 glasses daily. But here's the key: spread it throughout the day, not all at once. Your kidneys can only process so much at a time. When you maintain proper hydration, something visible happens to your skin within days. It plumps up. Those fine lines that make you look older soften because your skin cells are finally holding the moisture they need. Combined with the vitamin D reaching those cells, you're giving your skin both the hydration and the repair signals it's been missing. This is also crucial for muscle function. Dehydrated muscles cramp, tire quickly, and can't rebuild effectively, even with adequate vitamin D. I often see women who do everything else right, but remain chronically dehydrated, and it sabotages their results. But here's where it gets really interesting, because what I'm about to share in number 6 is something that's been known for years, and I'm seeing its remarkable power in my own practice. Number 6 involves something that sounds almost too simple: the strategic use of egg yolks, specifically from pasture-raised chickens. Here's what my understanding of agricultural science has confirmed. Eggs from chickens that actually see sunlight and eat a natural diet contain significantly more vitamin D than conventional eggs, sometimes 3 to 4 times more. When you consume egg yolks from these sources, you're getting vitamin D along with choline and biotin, 2 nutrients that directly support hair growth and skin health. Biotin deficiency is one reason hair becomes brittle and breaks easily as we age, and choline supports the cellular membranes throughout your body, including your skin. What makes this approach particularly effective for women our age is convenience and cost. 2 to 3 pasture-raised eggs daily, cooked any way you prefer, delivers meaningful vitamin D alongside complete protein that your muscles need to rebuild. I often notice in my patients that women who add this simple food consistently report stronger nails, thicker hair, and that intangible quality of looking more vibrant. The protein in eggs also provides the amino acids your body uses to construct new hair strands and repair damaged skin. This is real food doing real work, not complicated protocols or expensive treatments. But stay with me, because what's coming in number 7 is the most important piece, the one that ties everything together and explains why some women see dramatic results while others struggle, despite doing everything I've mentioned so far. Number 7, and this is where I'm increasingly focusing my attention, addressing indoor living and artificial light exposure. This might sound strange until you understand what's happening. Modern women spend roughly 90% of their time indoors. Your ancestors spent most of their day outside. Your body still expects that outdoor exposure because that's how it's designed to produce vitamin D. But here's the deeper issue that my understanding is now revealing. Indoor lighting, especially the blue light from screens and LED bulbs, disrupts the hormonal signals that help your body use vitamin D effectively. Your skin has photoreceptors that respond to natural light spectrum in ways that artificial light simply cannot replicate. When you're constantly in artificial light, your body's natural rhythms get confused. This affects everything: your sleep quality, which determines how well your body repairs itself at night; your hormone production, which controls muscle maintenance and skin renewal; and your mood, which impacts whether you have the energy and motivation to take care of yourself. The fix here is strategic outdoor time beyond just morning sun exposure. I now recommend that women aim for at least 30 to 45 minutes outdoors daily, spread throughout the day if possible. This doesn't mean intense activity. Sitting on your porch reading a book counts. Walking slowly around your yard counts. The goal is natural light exposure that helps your body maintain its vitamin D production and use what you're getting from food and supplements more efficiently. Here's what happens when you combine all 7 of these approaches. And this is what I am seeing in my clinical practice. Your hair follicles receive consistent vitamin D signaling, which means they stay in the growth phase longer instead of entering the resting phase prematurely. New hair growth becomes thicker, stronger, and more resistant to breakage. That thinning crown or receding hairline that's been bothering you can actually improve, not overnight, but steadily over months. Your skin begins producing more collagen because vitamin D directly stimulates the fibroblasts. Those are the cells that make collagen. Fine lines soften, skin tone evens out, and that papery texture that makes skin look old starts to reverse. The age spots that seem permanent begin to fade because vitamin D helps regulate melanin production. Your muscles respond to the signals they've been missing, and that weakness that made you afraid of falling or struggling with simple tasks starts to improve. Muscle strength doesn't just make you physically capable, it changes how you see yourself. Confidence returns when you know your body will do what you ask it to do. Now let's be completely clear about what we're talking about here. This isn't about becoming 20 years old again. That's not realistic, and my clinical insights don't promise that. What this is about is being the healthiest, strongest, most vibrant version of 60 plus that your body can achieve. It's about looking in the mirror and recognizing yourself with confidence instead of wondering where you went. It's about having the energy to do what you want instead of collapsing in exhaustion. It's about not feeling invisible or dismissed because you look older than you feel inside. The reason vitamin D is so powerful for all of this comes down to something fundamental that I've been documenting in my practice. Vitamin D isn't just a vitamin, it's actually a hormone that affects virtually every cell in your body. When levels are optimal, your cells receive signals that say, grow, repair, strengthen. When levels are low, those signals become whispers that cells can barely hear, and everything slowly declines. Your hair follicles go dormant. Your skin cells can't keep up with damage. Your muscle cells can't rebuild what daily life breaks down. This is why addressing vitamin D deficiency creates such widespread improvements. You're not treating symptoms, you're fixing the underlying communication system that coordinates your body's ability to maintain itself. Something important that I want you to understand: this isn't instant. If you're expecting results next week, you'll be disappointed and might give up too soon. Realistic time frames based on my clinical experience look like this. Hair changes become noticeable around the 3-month mark, sometimes sooner for minor improvements, but significant changes take time because hair grows slowly. Skin improvements often show up within 4 to 6 weeks because skin cells turn over faster than hair follicles. Muscle strength improvements can begin within 2 to 3 weeks because muscle tissue responds relatively quickly when it has what it needs. The key is consistency. Women who succeed with this treat it as a lifestyle adjustment, not a temporary fix. Let's talk about testing because this matters more than most people realize. If you're serious about this, ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood test. This is the standard test I use in my practice. Optimal levels for seniors are generally considered between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter, though I now target the higher end of that range for my older patients. Many women discover they're well below 30 ng/ml, which is where deficiency becomes clinically significant. Testing gives you a baseline and lets you track whether what you're doing is actually working. Many insurance plans cover this test when ordered by your doctor, and even without insurance, it's relatively inexpensive. Test now. Implement these 7 strategies consistently for 3 months, then test again. That comparison tells the real story. Here's something else that matters for safety, and I'm clear on this. More isn't always better with vitamin D. There is such a thing as too much, though it's relatively rare. This is why working with your healthcare provider matters. They can help you find the right supplementation level for your specific situation. If you're taking blood thinners, if you have kidney issues, if you're on certain medications, vitamin D supplementation needs to be monitored because it can interact with these things. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to help you do this safely and effectively. One thing I consistently emphasize, vitamin D works best as part of an overall healthy approach. You can't out-supplement a terrible diet or completely sedentary lifestyle. The women who see the most dramatic results are those who address vitamin D alongside basic health fundamentals, eating real food instead of processed junk, moving their bodies regularly, even if it's just walking, staying socially connected because isolation accelerates aging in ways we're only beginning to understand, and managing stress because chronic stress depletes nutrients, including vitamin D, faster than your body can replace them. Let's address something practical that trips up many women. The supplement aisle is overwhelming and quality varies dramatically. When choosing a vitamin D3 supplement, and D3 is the form you want, not D2, look for products that have been third-party tested. In the US, look for USP verification or NSF certification on the label. These indicate independent testing confirmed what's on the label is actually in the bottle. Avoid bargain basement supplements where quality control might be questionable. You don't need the most expensive brand, but you do need one that's been verified. I also recommend liquid vitamin D3 over pills because it's already an oil, which helps with that fat-soluble absorption issue we discussed earlier. Something fascinating that my understanding of cellular biology shows, vitamin D status affects how you age at the cellular level. There are structures in your cells called telomeres that protect your DNA, kind of like the plastic tips on shoelaces. As you age, telomeres naturally shorten, and when they get too short, cells can't divide properly anymore. This is part of why we age and why our bodies gradually decline. Research shows that adequate vitamin D helps protect telomeres from shortening too quickly. This means vitamin D isn't just making you look and feel better now, it's potentially slowing the aging process at its most fundamental level. This is why I am paying closer attention to vitamin D status in my senior patients. It's not just about preventing osteoporosis anymore, though that's still important. It's about healthy aging across every system in your body. Here's what this looks like in real life in terms you can relate to. Imagine waking up and actually wanting to get out of bed instead of dreading the day's physical demands. Imagine looking in the mirror and thinking, I look pretty good, instead of avoiding your reflection. Imagine having the energy in the afternoon to do something you enjoy instead of collapsing in exhaustion. Imagine your grandchildren or friends commenting that you look different, better, more like yourself. These aren't miracles or false promises. These are the realistic outcomes that I see when women address vitamin D deficiency comprehensively using the 7 strategies we've covered. Let me bring this together with something important about mindset, because it matters just as much as the practical steps. Our culture often treats aging like a disease to be fought with desperation, and that mindset is exhausting and ultimately self-defeating. What we're talking about here is different. This is about respecting your body enough to give it what it needs. It's about recognizing that you deserve to feel good, look good, and be strong regardless of your age. Vitamin D deficiency isn't a moral failing or something you brought on yourself through laziness. For most women, it's simply a consequence of modern indoor living, dietary changes, and natural age-related decline in production. You're not trying to reverse time, you're trying to optimize the time you have. One final thing that I emphasize, starting is more important than perfection. You don't need to implement all 7 strategies perfectly tomorrow. That's overwhelming and sets you up to quit when life gets complicated. Start with 1 or 2. Maybe it's morning sunlight and adding fatty fish twice a week. Do that consistently for 2 weeks. Then add the next strategy. Build gradually, and you'll find that these become habits rather than chores. Women who succeed with this don't rely on motivation, which comes and goes. They build systems and routines that make these things automatic. So here's where we are. You now know exactly why your hair has been thinning, your skin has been aging faster than it should, and your muscles have been weakening in ways that steal your confidence. You understand that vitamin D deficiency is likely behind all of it, and you have 7 concrete, practical strategies supported by my clinical experience and understanding of medical research to fix this. Morning sunlight exposure done right. Fatty fish 3 times weekly. Proper supplementation with vitamin D3 taken with fat. Ensuring adequate magnesium to activate the vitamin D. Maintaining proper hydration throughout the day. Incorporating pasture-raised egg yolks regularly. And strategic outdoor time to support your body's natural rhythms. Each one matters, and together they create something powerful, the foundation for regaining the confidence that's been slipping away. This is information women over 60 need, information that's based on solid medical understanding and clinical experience, not internet trends or miracle cures. Your hair, your skin, your muscles, your confidence, they're all connected to something fixable. That's the message I want you to take from this. Over 60 doesn't mean over. It means experienced, capable, and absolutely deserving of feeling strong and looking your best. If this information helped you, hit that like button right now, share this with other women who need to hear it, and drop a comment telling me your age and which of these 7 strategies you're going to start with first. Let's build a community of women who refuse to accept decline as inevitable. I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to dive deep into another issue affecting seniors that nobody's talking about openly, but everyone's experiencing. Until then, take care of yourself. Start implementing what you've learned today.